All right, everyone, welcome back to TNT Digital Mindset. Today, we're cutting through the noise and zeroing in on the digital trends that actually matter. I've leveraged advanced AI to distill the latest research into clear, actionable insights, so we can focus on strategy, not fluff. Let's get started.
Let's talk about a huge problem that so many entrepreneurs run into. We all want to build systems to create more freedom in our business, right? But somehow they just don't. Today, we're going to break down exactly why most systems fail and, more importantly, how you can build one that actually works. So, does this sound familiar? You've spent hours, maybe even weeks, creating these perfect standard operating procedures. You've got checklists, you've set up automations, but you're still the one putting out all the fires. You're working more than ever, and the business just isn't scaling. It's super frustrating, and it usually boils down to a really basic misunderstanding of what a system really is. And here's the mental shift you have to make. You gotta stop thinking of your systems as just a bunch of documents living in a Google Drive folder somewhere. An effective system isn't a static manual. It's a dynamic machine. A machine that's built for one purpose: to produce a specific result over and over again without you having to be there. This really gets to the heart of the problem. If your systems feel like they're just adding to your workload, it's probably because you've created a perfect instruction manual for a machine that you haven't actually finished building yet. Let's dig into what that actually means. Think about it. Any machine, whether it's a car engine or a coffee maker, needs all its parts connected and working together to do its job. A blueprint by itself doesn't actually brew coffee, right? Well, most business systems are just blueprints. They're missing the crucial functional parts that make them run, and that's exactly why they never give you your time back. So, what are these essential parts I'm talking about? Okay, let's actually build our result-producing machine, piece by piece. It turns out every truly effective system has 4 key components. And if you think about your business like a little factory, this becomes crystal clear. All right, the first 3 parts are pretty basic. First, you've got your inputs. These are your raw materials. So in a marketing system, the inputs would be new leads. Then you have your processes. This is your assembly line, right? It's all the steps you take to transform those inputs. And finally, you have your outputs, the finished product. For a sales system, that output is a new paying customer. Simple enough, right? But here's the catch. Even if you have all 3 of those things clearly defined, inputs, processes, and outputs, your system can still be super inefficient, or maybe even completely broken. There's one last critical component that makes all the difference. It's the secret ingredient that turns a dumb, static process into a smart, self-improving machine. And that secret is the feedback loop. This is the part that allows the machine to learn, to adapt, and to get better all on its own. Without a feedback loop, your system is just flying blind. It can't tell you when something's wrong. You end up trying to fix things based on a gut feeling, which almost never works. This is the one piece of the puzzle that almost everybody misses. Let me give you a really quick story. I know a founder who had this incredibly detailed, perfectly documented onboarding system. Everything was automated, tasks were assigned. On paper, it looked flawless. But for some reason, new clients kept dropping off and ghosting him after the second week. He was convinced it was a sales problem. But then he did something simple. He just asked them for feedback. And the truth came out. His perfect system was hitting new clients with 15 different action items on their very first day. They were totally overwhelmed and just gave up. The process document could never have told him that, but the feedback loop did. He made one small change and boom, the problem was solved. That's the power of feedback. So how do you actually build a feedback loop? Well, it comes down to 2 key things. First, you need objective data, metrics, scorecards, the numbers that tell you what is actually happening, how many leads convert, how long does it take to fulfill an order. And second, you need subjective feedback. You have to go ask your team and your clients why it's happening. Where did you get stuck? What was confusing? You absolutely need both to see the whole picture. Okay, so now you've got all this feedback coming in. What do you do with it? This leads us to a really, really powerful way to think about your entire business. I call it the blocked pipe metaphor. So I want you to imagine your business as one single long pipe. The goal, obviously, is to have water flow through that pipe as smoothly and as quickly as possible. The water goes in one end as a lead, it flows through your marketing, your sales, your operations, and it comes out the other end as profit. A healthy business is just a clean, fast-flowing pipe. But for most of us, this is what's really going on. Our pipe is full of clogs and blockages. Maybe your sales process is leaky, or maybe your delivery is too slow, or maybe your client onboarding is confusing. Every single one of those things is a blockage that slows down the entire system. Now, here is the critical insight. In this picture, your marketing, your ads, your content, all that stuff is the tap at the very beginning of the pipe. And what's our first instinct when we want more profit? We try to turn up the tap. But think about it. Pouring more water into a clogged pipe doesn't make more water come out the other end. It just makes a bigger mess and backs everything up. And this leads us to the single most destructive mistake that entrepreneurs make. We see all these different blockages in the pipe, and we try to fix every single one of them at the same time. But our focus gets spread so thin that we don't actually make any real progress on anything. We end up fixing nothing. So what's the solution? How do we actually make progress? Well, it's a simple but kind of counterintuitive idea. To scale your business and move really fast, you first have to be willing to slow down. The smart move isn't to try and fix everything. The smart move is to use your feedback loops, all that data you're collecting, to find the single biggest blockage, the one constraint that's holding back the entire system. And then you focus all your energy, all your resources on fixing just that one thing. When you do this, it creates this incredibly powerful new operating rhythm for your business. It's a simple, repeatable loop. Step 1, track your data. Step 2, identify the single biggest constraint. Step 3, fix that constraint. And here's the key part, step 4. Only then do you increase throughput by turning up the marketing tap. And finally, step 5, repeat this cycle. Find the next bottleneck and start all over again. This is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. You have to improve your system's capacity before you increase the demand on it. It's that simple. Don't pour more leads into a system that's already broken. You have to clear the pipe first. Then you've earned the right to turn up the tap. So look, if you only take one single thing away from all of this, please let it be this. Stop trying to fix everything at once. Your one job is to find the single biggest bottleneck in your business right now and put all of your focus into fixing it. That is where you'll find all the leverage. Because that's what creates real progress. That singular focus. That is how you finally stop feeling stuck and start moving incredibly fast. We covered direct, practical insights just like this one, all about building systems that create real leverage and freedom every single week. If that's something you're working on, go ahead and subscribe to TNT Digital Mindset. Thanks for tuning in.